What's happened to our judiciary is beyond me.
Yeah, so when the American public hears this and they think these were once upstanding people in their communities and their professions, and they put it all on the line for this, I mean, have you dug into their motive? Like, what inspired them to carry out these acts and harbor criminals?
They're deranged is all I can think of. I cannot believe, I think some of these judges think they are beyond and above the law, and they are not. And we're sending a very strong message today. If you are harboring a fugitive, we don't care who you are. If you are helping hide one, if you are giving a TDA member guns, anyone who is illegally in this country, we will come after you and we will prosecute you. We will find you.
I'm joined now by the co-founder of State Democracy Defenders Action, Norm Eisen. Norm, that was a clip from Pam Bondi just today after the DOJ opted to arrest a judge in Wisconsin. You heard some of the language that was used in that clip. We will come after you and we will prosecute you. We will find you. We're sending a very strong message to the judiciary today. So this is basically the Trump administration declaring war on the courts. And so can I have your initial reaction to what we've just seen and heard from Pam Bondi?
Brian, we've seen Donald Trump now lose in court for almost the 100th time. We have almost, it's over 90, almost 100 losses in 100 days. And what we saw today from Pam Bondi was shameful. But there was no lawful basis to arrest this judge because she didn't detain someone in her courtroom. Judges are allowed to have control of their courtroom. It's crazy. There was a similar case in Massachusetts. Trump tried in the first term and had to be thrown out. And Pam Bondi made clear this wasn't about what that Milwaukee judge did, because she said she's sending a larger message to the judiciary. She addressed the judiciary as a whole. It's naked intimidation. It's unconstitutional. The television program should have been enjoined as a constitutional violation because, Brian, Article 3 of the Constitution gives judges the power to control Article 2, the president, when he violates the rules that are set under the Constitution by Article 1, Congress. That's why Donald Trump has lost almost 100 times, not because of judicial impropriety. And this is going to backfire on them in a big way.
But we've seen the way in which the Trump administration has been perfectly content to do this without even feeling like they need to backtrack at all. I mean, they just defied a 9-0 Supreme Court case as it relates to Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and rather than relent a little bit when it became clear that they were in the wrong and that they were acting unconstitutionally, they just doubled down. Hell, they lied outright and said, you know what, screw it. You know, the Supreme Court says we won. And they just lied about the whole thing and just created out of whole cloth this alternate reality. And so we're seeing the same thing here, where rather than feel constrained or bound by what the courts are doing, they're just trying to usurp all the power from the judiciary in very much the same way the legislative branch has already voluntarily contracted their power to the executive.
But they're failing, Brian. And it makes a larger point that the first 100 days of Donald Trump have been a failure. He has not succeeded in transforming the government in the way that he sought. Take Abrego Garcia. You're right. The Supreme Court ruled against them. They went back to the court. They tried to mischaracterize in the lower court what they did. Yeah. But that judge didn't let him get away with it. She put the wood to him. The result is there's now a consensual 1-week pause. I've been practicing law for a very long time. That is DOJ signaling that they want to find a settlement. Mm-hmm. They want to find a way out of their bind. It may or may not work. As you know, we're active in all of these cases. We at State Democracy Defenders Action and our associated groups, more than 60 cases. And we are getting court orders this week. We got them at the rate of 1 every 2 days. Voice of America, preliminary injunction, Donald Trump, you can't violate the law and shut down Voice of America. Donald Trump's election EO, preliminary injunction, Donald Trump, you can't reset the federal election registration form. That's not up to you. And on and on. We've got many of these orders. As a result, Donald Trump, because of what's happening in the courts of law and all the other dimensions of our democracy, there's, even as we speak, there's a peaceful, large, vigorous protest in front of the courthouse at what Donald Trump has done. He's not getting away with it. He has lost the first 100 days. And this lash out by Pam Bondi is just why he lashes out at me sometimes. It's the same thing. They're losing, and it makes them angry. But Bondi went too far. She crossed the line, and the judges are going to rule even more against DOJ as a result of what she said today. They're backed up by the American people. 80%, Brian, say Trump should abide by court orders, should follow the judges. That includes his own voters. So I'm feeling better about the pushback on Donald Trump's autocracy today as we near the end of the first 100 days than I have at any point since the administration began.
Norm, I do want to dig into something that you said. You had mentioned the fact that Donald Trump did call you out. He did so publicly in front of the Department of Justice, obviously with the intention of trying to give them kind of a wink and a nod, let them know who he wanted them to go after. What happened to you in the immediate aftermath of that? I guess, give our audience some insight into what happens when you are name checked by the President of the United States. What comes in the aftermath of that?
I think I did my very first media hit, of which there were quite a few, with you immediately after that happens. Well, Brian, it's like when you receive any other extremely public backhanded compliment. You do get some threats and some negative incoming, but there was much more support that I got of people saying they have my back, of public statements by other democracy leaders, friends calling me. I take it as an encouragement. I worked extra hard that day. I wrote 2 lawsuits that day instead of just one. Donald Trump has taken my security clearance away 3 times. Brian, we've talked about this before. Either he's frustrated because he's losing so much in court, he takes it away, he says, turn it back on so it can make me feel good to take it away again, or something's not quite right upstairs. He's tweeted about me. Elon Musk has tweeted more than 20 times. Do I look like that's slowing me down in any way? We, at the rate we're going, I thought we might have 100 lawsuits in 2025. I think we're going to have more than that.
He's certainly given you enough material to actually bring those lawsuits.
So I think that what we're seeing from Donald Trump, I'm just back from a trip to Europe, and we're seeing the same with his inability to deliver the peace results that he promised. What you're seeing from Donald Trump, what you saw with Pam Bondi with those absurd and ridiculous comments today, is not strength. It's weakness. He lost the first 100 days. His co-president, Elon Musk, is on the run. He lost the Wisconsin referendum, the people versus Musk. He's been laying low ever since, toxically political. The Doge project is a failure. They keep shrinking the amount of money they're saving down. They haven't transformed the government as they promised they would do. There are these almost 100 losses in court. Donald Trump's approval rating is lower than any other president at this point, including Trump 1. Musk, the co-president, is hated. And on. The American people aren't buying it. He's got his lowest numbers ever on immigration, on the economy. Those are supposed to be his strengths. People are sympathetic to Abrego and the others who are being unlawfully abducted. Donald Trump needed to come to his job with a scalpel. People wanted him to do a good job. Instead, he and Musk took a chainsaw. Total failure.
Norm, going back to Pam Bondi for just a moment, you were the ethics czar during the Obama administration. What would you have said in response to a attorney general doing something similar or something analogous if this was the Obama White House?
Well, I would have gone right to President Obama and said, the AG must be fired. If you can't get the AG's resignation, then you shall have mine. There's no place for those kinds of threats and attacks on the judiciary. If you have an issue with this judge, That's one thing. But she couldn't focus on the judge, really. You notice it was a totally fact-free presentation,
Yeah.
Brian, because the judge didn't do anything
Right.
wrong. There's no illegality or so. Instead, she made clear that this was an act of intimidation against the judiciary. There's no place for that. I can tell you, if anybody had done that any AG had done that in the Obama administration or a Democratic or Republican administration, they would have been history.
Yeah.
And it's reprehensible. It's just reprehensible.
Well, to that point, Norm, no one is doing as much as you are in the courts right now in terms of bringing these lawsuits. As you mentioned, you have several dozen working their way through the court system, including cases that you've outright won already. And so for folks who are looking to help you, to help the fighters out there, what can they do to help?
Well, they can find our websites. So you can look for State Democracy Defenders Action. We welcome you to support the fight. You'll see if you go on our websites, you look at the different things we do. We do them in partnership with labor, with wonderful civil rights organizations, with individual human beings, with the other democracy groups. So help our democracy group, help any democracy group. And folks, keep on doing what you're doing. The ultimate power of democracy is people power. And Brian, your viewers and listeners are out there participating. We've got Brian Tyler Cohen watchers who are at that Wisconsin courthouse right now, peacefully, vigorously, lawfully demonstrating in defense of the judge and in defense of our democracy. Keep it all up, folks. We're very grateful to you.
And we're grateful to you, Norm. Thank you for the work you're doing. Again, I'll put the link that you just mentioned right here on the screen and also in the post description of this video. Norm, talk to you soon.
Thanks, Brian.